Hey everyone, wanted to jump on here and discuss some of the investment trends that we're seeing going on in the economy and in the investing world for both last week and what to expect in this week ahead. So far, September has lived up to its reputation as being one of the worst months for the stock market, as both the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ were down last week, and they snapped a 2-week-long win streak. So one of the concerns that the market saw last week was that OPEC has decided to decrease the supply of oil that they will be producing. So what this did is this drove energy prices up. So energy was one of the only sectors to have a positive performance for the stock market so far in the month of September, while technology, healthcare, and financial sectors have begun to dip pretty drastically this month. Last week, Apple received some news that Chinese government officials will be curbing the use by government officials of iPhone products. So the Chinese government is saying that they may be leaking some confidential information to U.S. companies by using the iPhone, so they are starting to restrict the use of iPhones by government officials. This caused Apple stock to drop as much as 8% at times last week before rebounding. This also caused a stir with other technology companies, stating that China could start to do the same thing for their technology products as well. This week on Tuesday, Apple will be announcing the release of the iPhone 15, so much anticipation around that release and what that could do for the stock. Also this week, Google will begin its antitrust case, its lawsuit that the Department of Justice has issued against Google, claiming that Google is a monopoly. And one of the main items in this case is that they are stating that for cell phone providers, Google has automatically made themselves the default browser. So that's one thing to look at in this case. Google has claimed that that is just improving the customer experience. So we will see what happens in this antitrust lawsuit. We haven't seen anything like this in about 20 years since Microsoft was also hit with these monopoly charges. Later on this week, we will see some key inflation data. So a lot of the producer price index, consumer price index information that will come out this week will directly relate to what could happen early next week as the Federal Reserve meets for their monthly meeting to make a decision on interest rates. So again, we can expect to see some market volatility continue with equities as a lot of the inflation data comes out, and also in anticipation of the Federal Reserve meeting and their decision next week on interest rates.